We live in an age of constant noise and conflicting opinions, where impulses drag us away from what is essential. But in the midst of this storm, there is a calm that does not depend on the world stopping, but on a power cultivated within. The Stoics knew it. True mastery is not over events, but over oneself. Do not seek strength in the approval of others, but in the ability to remain firm when everything seems to collapse. Today, we will explore 3 pillars to awaken that unbreakable soul. These are not magic formulas, but principles forged in experience, to reclaim your center and the control of your destiny. But to build this strength, we must first look within. We must understand that the most important battle occurs in the silence of our own mind. At the heart of Stoicism lies an inescapable truth. We are not disturbed by things, but by the judgment we make of them. Every thought you harbor, without questioning, is shaping your reality. If you do not reclaim command of your mind, others will do it for you. The expectations of others, inherited fears, or the impulses of the moment will take control. A mind without guidance is not free. It is a territory occupied by voices that do not belong to you. Marcus Aurelius warned clearly, "Life is what our thoughts make of it." This is not abstract philosophy. It is an operational warning. Mastering the mind does not mean nullifying what you feel, but becoming the observer of your emotions. It is creating a space between the blow and your response. In that pause, in that brief second of silence, is where your true freedom is born. There you stop being a drifting ship to become the captain of your own judgment. Understand that this mastery is not a destination, but a discipline to be exercised. Every time you choose reason over whim, you are forging an unbreakable character. Because if you do not govern your mind, you will live as a stranger in your own body, disconnected from your strength. But once you conquer your thinking, you discover something vital. Peace no longer depends on the external world being just, but on your inner world being firm. However, having a clear mind is useless if we constantly crash against the walls of the impossible. That is why we must learn to distinguish what we can change from what we must accept. There is a form of exhaustion that does not come from work, but from resistance. We spend our lives fighting against the inevitable, the decisions of others, the weather, traffic, or the turns of fate. The Stoics, led by Epictetus, teach us something vital. Suffering is not born from the event itself, but from the friction between reality and our desire for it to be different. Serenity is not the absence of problems, but the absence of resistance toward what you cannot change. Accepting the inevitable is not resignation. It is, in reality, the economy of energy. Every gram of strength you spend complaining about the past, or fearing the future, is energy you are stealing from your present. By letting go of what does not depend on you, you free your hands to work on the only thing that truly belongs to you. Your attitude and your actions in the here and now are your true power. You do not control the direction of the wind, but you always control the position of your sails. When you stop seeing obstacles as curses, you begin to see them as material for your growth. In that moment, you stop being a victim of circumstances. Acceptance is the firm ground upon which true determination is built. But accepting reality is only the first step on this path. The true challenge is what you do with the pain that reality, at times, imposes on us. That is why the final pillar teaches us to transform that fire into the force that drives our lives. The mind is a double-edged sword. It can be your greatest jailer, or your most powerful tool for liberation. Often, the pain we feel is not born from the wound, but from the narrative we build around it. By telling ourselves that life is unfair, or that this shouldn't happen, we amplify the suffering and become victims of our own shadow. But Stoicism proposes a radical change. We must stop seeing pain as a mistake of fate and start seeing it as the fuel for our virtue. True power lies in objective resilience. This means observing your thoughts as if they were passing clouds, recognizing that you are not your fear, nor are you your sadness. You are the observer who decides what to do with them. When you stop identifying with emotional chaos, the mind ceases to be a receiver of traumas and becomes a laboratory of wisdom. This is where suffering is transmuted. You no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" but "What is this for?" This transformative mindset is the pillar of an unbreakable character. By practicing gratitude even in the darkness, you are not ignoring reality. You are conquering it. You are deciding that no external circumstance has the power to put out your inner light. Peace is not something you find when your problems disappear. It is something you create while you face them. Ultimately, freedom is not living without difficulties. It is possessing a mind that no difficulty can enslave. We have explored the mastery of thought, the acceptance of the inevitable, and the overcoming of suffering. Now, the command is yours. Do not wait for the world to calm down to find your center. Be the calm in the midst of the world. Reclaim your destiny, train your will, and awaken, once and for all, that unbreakable soul that has always been there.